Hey folks, Machinery Pete here. I've been writing and blogging a bit here the last few months about rising values on good condition, older used hay equipment, like in particular square balers and rakes. Kind of started to notice the trend late last November, and you're looking at a John Deere 336 square baler I saw sell on a sale in southeast Minnesota. November 24th brought $4,900, which was the highest auction price I'd seen on a older John Deere 336 baler. So that one kind of caught my attention. And some of the other recent prices I've seen that kind of accentuate this trend. Here was a New Holland 258 rake. This sold on a consignment auction March 27th in northeast Pennsylvania. Brought $4,600, which was I believe the second highest auction price I've seen on a New Holland 258 rake over the last 17 plus years, and we've seen a lot of prices on them. So to have one come in second high on a consignment sale, pretty interesting. There was also an auction, you maybe remember me talking about. It was April 27th in west central Saskatchewan. Now this farm sale was a tremendous sale, and it had a number of record prices on good used hay equipment, like this 1994 New Holland 575 square baler that brought $17,500. Again, new record auction price. The same auction also had this New Holland 1069 stack cruiser, very nice condition. I think it had just over 3,000 hours on it. Brought $49,000. That was the second highest auction price I've ever seen on a 1069 bale wagon. The same auction in Saskatchewan had this New Holland 358 grinder mixer, 1985 model, sold for $15,500. Record auction price by a mile. It was $5,500 over the previous high that I'd seen at auction. So those were some of the prices on good used hay equipment, but also beginning now to pick up on some vibes on rising hay prices. And there was a sale in particular this Wednesday, May 22nd in northeast Iowa, Dyersville Sales Company. And here's a video interview I did earlier today with Dale Westline, one of the auctioneers at DyersvilleSales.com. Hey folks, Machinery Pete here, and I'm with my friend Dale Westline from Durango, Iowa. Folks, Dale is about as knowledgeable as anyone I've ever met on all things hay. Hay prices, hay equipment, you name it. Dale Westline with Dyersville Sales Company. He's the guy to talk to. So, Dale, good to see you again, my friend.
Good to talk to you, Greg.
And I understand, man, on Wednesday, May 22nd, you guys had just a heck of a hay auction there. Why don't you tell folks about it?
Well, the market started out at record territory and just kept moving up as the day went along. With the hay market topped out at $405 a ton on some fifth crop from Iowa, big squares. 230 relative feed value.
Wow, $405 a ton, and that's a new record price, you said?
Yep, that's the high for us.
Okay, well, what had been the high in your area there in northeast Iowa?
We've been up to the high as 350, 340 on round bales, 350 on squares.
Okay.
Demand for good quality hay right now is acceptable.
Okay. And as we've talked a little bit recently, you were indicating a very much of a supply issue for hay right now, just with the drought and everything. Why don't you touch on that issue?
Well, the drought last year jump-started usage in July for stock cow producers had to supplement their cattle out in the pasture, and that also took away a lot of winter supplies that have been fed during the winter. So it's caused tremendous shortages. We've had to have a lot of hay in, and it's just hard to find hay right now.
Right.
Just a little bit left in Kansas, and trying to get some new crop hay in now from Kansas this past week. But all in all, the hay supply is very, very tight, and looks like it's going to stay that way. A serious winter in northeast Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Anyhow, a lot of these older stands anyhow got wiped out over the winter, so supplies look to be pretty tight for another year yet.
Right. Well, very interesting. With supply issue, we can understand rising prices, but on the demand side, we've got some headwinds there too with the challenges in the dairy biz, recently here. Why don't you talk about that end of it on the demand side?
Well, the demand is, these prices are very good considering what our end users are going through right now. We've got some very low milk prices, you figure in all your costs on dairy right now, their guys are telling me it's about $24 is break even, and they're getting 16 to 18 up to $19 in the mailbox on milk right now. Cow calf producers this year lost $200 a pair unit, and our feedlot operators are taking about $100 a head loss out of the feedlot right now. So the fact that we've had these exceptionally very good hay prices right now with our end users, full of red ink right now is quite amazing.
Yeah, definitely. That is a interesting scenario taking place right now. And for folks who have hay and looking to sell, I would imagine you'd guess maybe be advising a pretty good time to be moving it fairly quickly here if they could.
If you got any old crop, now's the time to back up the truck and unload the boat, and you should really take a good hard look at selling your new crop right out of the field. With these prices that we're getting right now, and then you got to remember your new crop hay will shrink 10%. Your tons will go down 10% over the next 6 months. So just your shrink on your hay will. So if you start figuring that, and if you get $300 a ton out of the field, that's like get $330 in the fall, and you're banking the money now. So it's pretty hard to put that hay in the shed this year, right, as opposed to normally you would think about storing your hay for winter usage, but at these prices, anyhow, why you want to just back up the truck.
Right. Well, folks, Dale is not only knowledgeable just on hay prices, but all types of used equipment. Dale and I have been talking for over 20 years, talking about auction prices and such. In northeast Iowa, southern Wisconsin, Dale, what have you been seeing happening with used hay equipment here this winter and spring?
We've seen a nice rebound. Hay tools have been at literally giveaway prices. Demand has been very poor. You look at a year ago right now, round bales were only $75 a ton, and big squares were $130, and corn was $7. So people were, exiting the business, or they were putting money into row crop equipment.
Right.
But now with the nice rebound in hay prices, guys are sticking more money back into their hay equipment again, and we've seen the rakes come back in value. The disc have moved up, and the round balers, which have been lagging, for several years due to the glut of them, they've turned around and are moving up down value as well.
Right. Now, I know we've talked a little bit, Dale. There's a particular example. Was it an H&S rake? You and a buddy there? Why don't you tell folks that story?
I bought a new H&S rake in 2002, and I bought it brand new for $6,500, and I typically trade my hay rakes every year or two, and I sold it to my neighbor for $4,700 in 2004.
Okay.
He turned around and used it anyhow, kept it in the shed, offered it to his neighbor anyhow for $6,500. He asked me, he says, what's it worth? And I said, I think you should be able to get $6,500. The neighbor thought that was way too much, so he ended up taking it to a sale up by Strawberry Point here in April, and he got $6,600 out of it. So,
wow,
the fact that you can get out of an 11-year-old rake anyhow get more than what you paid for, just out of it's pretty.
Yeah. Kind of an example there, a little mini example like we see with tractors and combines, where the new stuff keeps going up and there's just hardly any sales around. So this availability, that's probably why that guy can sell that nice 11-year-old rake for more than it sold for new, huh?
Yep. It is very often that you can, buy hay equipment and turn around and sell it at a profit. After 11 years of use on it.
Right.
Like I say, the market right now for if you have good, clean equipment that was stored inside anyhow, it's going to bring big money.
Right. And Dale, why don't you touch on the issue with the size of round balers? I know we've talked about that, the 4-foot versus 5-foot, what you see happening with coming to the used market.
The 4-foot wide round bale has brought a very nice premium for the last year and a half. We're seeing the reason is that these bales can be shipped so much more easily due to the 5-foot wide round bales. And the Iowa Department of Transportation is now enforcing these regulations here in Iowa that if you have a 5-foot wide over width round bale, that you not only need a permit to drive on, but you need a permit for each individual county you go through, as well as my understanding is anyhow a town over the population of 1,000. And if you were to go on a city street, you would have to get a citywide load permit. So they just made it a nightmare for the trucking industry to haul these 5-foot wide round bales.
Right.
And that is why the 4-foot wide round bales are not over width, and you can double deck them, and you can get about the same amount of weight as you can going with a 5-foot wide round bale. And then you're not limited to the need for the permits, and also on the over with 5 foot wide round bales, you're also restricted to sunlight a half hour before or a half hour after sunset, as opposed to the narrow wide or the 4 foot wide bales,
Okay.
which can be transported 24 hours a day on the roads and the interstate. So
Well, I
the
suppose
4 foot wide round bale is really the wave of the future, and we've seen a big turnover in Wisconsin to 4 foot wide round bales, and here in Northeast Iowa we're just a little bit behind, but I think as the guys start to replace their balers and with new ones, they'll be going to the 4 foot wide.
Well, that'll be really interesting on the auction market to compare the auction prices on the round balers, the smaller ones versus the bigger 5-foot ones. We'll probably see some spiking values on the 4-footers, I would imagine, huh?
I would imagine, a good 4 foot with net wrap anyhow should be bringing more than a 5 foot with net wrap is very shortly, I would believe.
Okay. Well, Dale, I really appreciate your insights into what you're seeing with used hay equipment there in Northeast Iowa, southern Wisconsin. And folks, if you're looking to buy hay or sell hay, you got to check out DyersvilleSales.com. It's a Dyersville sales company. And Dale, you guys have your auction every Wednesday, your hay auction?
Every Wednesday year round at 11 a.m.
All right. Well, thanks again, Dale. We will talk to you soon. Well, as both Dale and I touched on there in our conversation, used hay equipment values have been bouncing back quite strongly. And here's another way of visualizing that. This is from my Machinery Pete Used Value Index, where I kind of look at the overall trends in the used market, used equipment market. And you can see here, if we zero down to used hay equipment, used hay and forage, you can see on my 1 to 10 rating scale, gosh, we have bounced back from a low of in the 4.2, 4.3 range on my 1 to 10 rating scale, all the way up where we're pushing 7 now. And just for a frame of reference, 6.0 is kind of what I consider to be normal / stable used equipment values. So quite a climb here since first, second quarter 2011, rising auction prices on good used hay and forage equipment. And again, folks, if you have hay to sell or you're looking to buy, you really want to check out DyersvilleSales.com. Here's their website. And if you click on hay auction, they have a really neat section here where they will show you what the hay's been selling for. So it gives you an idea if you're looking to buy or sell. Hay auction results here, and here you can see the $405 a ton they just sold May 22nd.